Morning and a happy weekend to you. Welcome to the weekend edition of the Morning Express. My name is Ike Chukujue. Clement weather for a bit there, but the weatherman says it's most likely going to be a twist as rains are expected in the course of the day. I want to believe these rains are the ones I'll eventually usher in the Amazon. Welcome. As usual, I'm not alone. I've got the delectable, beautiful Jennifer Pretty Pius. I've added a P to your name.
Thank you. And a lovely morning.
What's up with the glasses, though? I said I was going to ask you.
You really had to. I had to fight with Xavier Roberts within the week, and now I have to do that with you. I said once in a while, you need to get some
magnifying.
Yeah, just spice up life. You don't make it too boring and just have the regular thing every day.
This is where I clear my throat like an elderly man. I did not get the memo.
Mazi, that's okay.
I did not get the memo.
Well, it's just so I can see clearly the numbers that will be trooping in from Anambra today. So it's very necessary we get these glasses on.
Nice.
Yeah.
No arguments. We're good.
All right. And we're going to head straight to what the papers are talking about. Before then, we have our reviewer in the studio, and he's a professor of communication, and he's also a media
specialist, a consultant,
yes,
an expert in communication.
Exactly. And I'm talking about Professor Uwem Akpan. Welcome and good morning.
Good morning, Jennifer.
Good morning to you, Prof.
It's good to see all of you.
You're welcome.
You guys are bubbling.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
And you're looking fabulous.
As usual.
Thank you very much.
I think the federal government is releasing the funds now.
I've not seen. The alert has not come, but I'm expecting. I'm hoping.
Okay. All right. Then
we're hoping with you.
Let's go to The Nation. The Nation talks about one of the critical issues that has been a front burner for a number of days this week, and that is the Tinubu and Trump discussion. The Nation says here, Nigeria's security not negotiable. This is attributed to the president, Tinubu. The writer says, stand with Nigeria in war against terror, president tells allies. We're monitoring developments in Nigeria, says Russia. AU rejects America's narrative. New Chief of Army Staff tasked troops. That's from The Nation. It's captured a number of papers this morning. We also have that captured on The Guardian. The Guardian also talks about this issue. The Guardian says here, Trump threat. Tinubu seeks global allies to boost Nigeria's war against terrorism. And not just there, we also have that on Saturday Telegraph. Saturday Telegraph brings it in a very different angle. It says here, Nigerians in US reject Trump's attack threat. The writer says only gullible people will believe American president's excuse. Global community can't be silent when terrorism, killings persist. This is General Igbowen. Government must flush out traitors in military. Professor Aworawo. Tinubu should seek Trump's cooperation to wipe out Boko Haram ISWAP. Okay. And it's not just on The Guardian. There are a number of other papers capturing that. We also have that on Vanguard. Vanguard says it, and Vanguard says it this way. It says, work with Trump to fight terror. Work with Trump to fight terror. That's Nigerians to Tinubu. And then the writer says, threat of military action, wake-up call for federal government. Stop the killings in every part of the country. Resettle all IDPs to their ancestral homes. Russia monitoring events in Nigeria. War threats divides U.S. lawmakers. Oh, I agree.
Well, this is where I come in. The papers are very explicit about the Trump-Nigeria situation. Should we call it United States-Nigeria row? I'd like to ask you. My question will come from The Guardian. Tinubu seeks global allies to boost Nigeria's war against terrorism. Trump, what he's trying to do, is he trying to help us? Or is he supposed to partner Nigeria even if he wants to help us? Because, I mean, you've listened to all the papers. They've talked about how the AU, China, and a couple of other bodies are rejecting that threat. Should we be seeking partnership, or can we do this on our own?
Thank you very much, Ike. And I think the papers are really flooded with the issue of security. Flooded this morning with the issue of security. Should Nigeria seek partnership? I think why we are where we are now is our unnecessary pride, pride, and unnecessary claim to sovereignty, or do I say, maybe as a result of people profiting from terrorism in Nigeria. That's why we are here. Because if Nigeria had put the issue of pride away and accepted the fact that they could not on their own eradicate these people, and if they had sought foreign partnerships are not announced quietly, I'm sure a lot of things would have been set right. But sometimes our leaders will lay claim to sovereignty. No, we cannot do it. But at the same time, the thing you say you cannot do, the thing is haunting you every day. And the other point is that, as I've always said, that there are saboteurs in the system that have made it impossible for Nigeria to really eradicate this terrorism to the extent that we can sleep and wake up in peace. And so it boils down to the fact that Nigeria needs some assistance. Nigeria is not as strong as Israel. Nigeria is not as strong as Israel. But Israel, in fighting its war against Arab neighbors, seeks foreign assistance. Sometimes I begin to wonder why our leaders think that they can do this alone. But I want to commend the president. If you have listeners, I know you have listened to all that the president and his ministers, responsible ministers have said, like the Minister of Information, none of them has taken up a battle against Donald Trump. As we just saw on the headline, the president is seeking partnership. And that is a diplomatic way, in my own opinion, of saying that, please come and assist
But
us.
the statement by U.S. president was not that of diplomatic approach. This was a threat. In fact, a statement attributed to the U.S. president says, we don't fight sometimes to win. We just stay in some countries 15 years just to bomb the hell out of everyone.
And that is Trump talking. But if you listen to his initial statement, he gave Nigeria opportunity to clear the mess, or they will come in and clear the mess for Nigeria. And what this means is that for all that we have gone through, the world have been watching. Yesterday, I read the statement from the EU, European Union, solidarity with Nigeria. And I went through the statement. At the end of it, what they said is that, well, they sympathize with Nigeria, and that they are ready to assist Nigeria to fight terrorism. The statement by Russia, to me, holds no water. Russia is already occupying, is it Niger, Mauritania area, and will be very happy to seek some extension into Nigeria. When they say Nigeria is an independent country, they are not saying it wholeheartedly. They are trying to counter America, not necessarily because they want to help, but just to show that they counter America.
But then how genuine is the U.S. threat to Nigeria?
As we speak, I'm going to answer that question. As we speak, the U.S. has, from what the New York Times published, the U.S. has already mapped out 3 strategies: the heavy, the light, and the other one.
Medium.
Okay, medium.
Light, medium, heavy.
They have done that, and
there's even a budget for this.
Yeah. So it is left for Nigeria to show seriousness. The U.S. is serious because Trump did not just wake up to say this. The pressure has been on. over time. U.S. Congressmen, they visited Nigeria. And my is it fear with Trump is that when Trump says something, he's likely going to implement it. He's likely going to implement it. No, when he bombed Iran, he said U.S. was undecided, give U.S. some days to decide. We woke up one morning and saw that he had bombed the nuclear facilities in Iran. But the bottom line is that if Nigeria had done what it should have done, we would have gotten to this place. We have been paying lip service. We have specialized in condolence messages, condemnation, without action. And I'm sorry, let me take maybe 1 more minute. It is the issue of security that the opposition used to drive away Goodluck Jonathan. They had partnership abroad, and they said, with due respect, even the current president said, any president who is unable to safeguard the life and property of the citizens is not worth being there.
But let me interject.
Okay.
Forgive me too. I'll first off follow the path that you just laid, and then I'll ask a question. This president is barely 2 years in office. Insecurity had festered for more than 20 years. Please fact check me, sir. Barely 2 years in office.
Yes, I know.
Good.
2 years.
Insecurity had festered for more than 20 years. We've had leaders before he came. Now, the president is confronted with a lot of issues, economic issues. I'm not holding brief now, I'm just laying foundations. Security issues, and he's trying to settle all these issues that he's faced with. Now, you think in 2 years, an insecurity that had defied every approach, that had lasted almost, if not more than 20 years, can be eradicated in 2 years? That's one. You will give me a reply. And then two.
I hope I won't forget.
No, you will not. I will remind you. Two, this assistance, this spirit of camaraderie, stand of solidarity, the contribution that we're hearing from other nations of the world, has it not become a battle of interest in Nigeria? Nigeria is designated as a country of particular concern. The concern now, is it not in our endowments?
Well, let me start with the first one. The first one is that the president is 2 years in office. I agree. All the assets and liabilities he inherited. The president was not up to 1 hour in office when he announced the removal of the fuel subsidy.
So the president should announce that insecurity be gone in 24 hours.
Yes, so just
that insecurity that lasted 20 years, as I said, be gone in 24 hours. This is not subsidy.
The subsidy had lasted more than 20 years, and in a few seconds, the thing was removed. But on a serious note, I want to quote the late General Abacha. He said, if rebellion lasts for more than, is it 6 weeks or 6 months?
72 hours, I suppose.
Okay, in the country, then government is involved.
Allegedly.
That's what he said.
Well, he didn't
Meaning that
allegedly.
what he meant was that the government has the power to quell such things. And the problem we have is not that the thing has lasted for 20 years. The problem we have is that some of those in power have their hands in the insecurity. Some of those in power have had their fingers soiled. So, even the military, how do you explain a situation where those who are fighting Boko Haram are asked not to attack Boko Haram except they are attacked? These are people you want to flush out. And sometimes, from what we hear, they say, even if they attack you, when you want to return fire, shoot into the air. So it is not a question of the thing lasting 20 years. It's a question of will on the part of the leaders. Let me hope that with the change in pattern in the security architecture, that these people will have the heart and the will. And to be able to achieve that, they must use their intelligence to weed out those who have always been detractors. If they do that, I'm sure, in less than 24 hours, we may begin to hear other stories. But one more thing.
My second question.
No, one more thing. When people begin to say that we should not bring in foreign forces, I'm not saying they should come or seek partnership to eradicate Boko Haram and other bandits. Are we saying that these people's existence, that's the bandits and the terrorists, they are in the interest of Nigeria? Why do we lay claim to independence, sovereignty, when we are suffering? What do we gain by saying, oh, we are a sovereign state? Yet, you go to Benue, you go to Plateau, you go to Southern Karuna, people are being killed. And if somebody is about to offer assistance, or if somebody is asking the federal government, go after these people, we now claim sovereignty. You know why? One, many of those who are saying that these people should not be pursued, one way or another, they are benefiting from it. If they were not benefiting, they wouldn't say. Maybe their persons have not died. But if their persons were to die, maybe they will become empathic. But in Nigeria, economic interest is very high. The other question...
Yeah, the other question I talked about, this sudden solidarity that Nigeria enjoys from the international community. Isn't it a battle of interest?
It's a battle of interest. I quite agree. Donald Trump took it from the point of religious interest. But
you need to give a dog a bad name.
Yeah, but I also believe that there's something, there must be something for something. If they help us to drive away the unwanted persons,
yeah,
then for all the bombs that they will bring and all the intelligence, there must be something. No, I believe there must be some. And incidentally, in the Northeast, I understand they have rare earth minerals. I understand they have minerals, solid minerals that are being sought after by the world. So it is possible that interest is there. Don't forget that when Trump went to Ukraine and is trying to help Ukraine, he had an understanding.
Was very steep.
He had understanding with Ukraine that the U.S. will have access to the rare earth minerals. So it is possible that this is at the background. And other countries who are trying to offer assistance one way or the other, even in Freetown, they say there's no free meal. So
should Nigeria at this point, we're at the precipice of something that has caught the global attention. It didn't start now. Nigeria is being discussed on the table of global interest. Should we at this point take whatever assistance is necessary, even if it's going to come with a cost?
No, you don't take. You have to lay everything on the table and see which one comes, which one is beneficial to you. But one thing is that you don't expect people to come and assist you in today's world. You don't expect people to come and assist you, and after assisting you, you say thank you.
Just go.
And they just, it's like asking me to come and work for you. I do my work. At the end, you say, God bless you. No, I will demand for money. But this one, they may not demand for money. But the point is, Nigeria should lay the interest on the table. And come to think of it, in reality, it's only the US that has something on the table that says it's coming to assist. But it is up to the government to say, this assistance that you are coming to give us, so what are the terms and conditions? So that they look at it. But what we need, whether it is from a foreign power or from our federal government, what we need is eradication of these insurgents. When we have that, in fact, typically, you don't ask for what was the source. It's like in a house. When the children eat and eat well, they don't want to know where the money came from. So long as they eat and are satisfied, they don't want to know where the money came from. So however the federal government is going to do, whether they are going to partner or not partner, so long
So you,
as
if anything, you say Nigerians are not exactly particular about what conditionalities may apply. We just want insecurity gone.
All right.
a lot of times they don't tell us the conditions that they get into when they go and collect loans. When they go and do this, they don't tell us. So
This one doesn't apply.
So they should not also tell us. What we need is security. Let them not tell us. Yes. We don't want to hear. But what we need is peace and security in the country.
I hope I don't get to remind you when the chips are down. Don't worry.
Well, we have the clip anyways. And still on Saturday Vanguard, this time around, Anambra showdown. I like how it's being put here on Vanguard. Anambra showdown. Then faces of some of the candidates. It says here, Soludo, 15 candidates, no fate today. It is not just on Saturday Vanguard. We also have this captured on other newspapers like Saturday Independent, and Saturday Independent says it says on Saturday Independent, Anambra votes as incumbency, federal might, INEC scrutiny loom large.
Wow.
And then it is also on Punch, Saturday Punch. Punch says here, Anambra decides, Amupitan faces litmus test as 2.8 million votes today. IGP deploys 55,000 security personnel. 98.8% PVCs collected. This is INEC. For the first time, we've had the INEC talk about, or in recent years, the INEC talk about 98.8% of PVCs collected. We've always heard that they have so many PVCs in their custody, and so urging Nigerians to come collect. But 98.8%, you think this is out of interest to go vote? Or let's just get, is this out of their interest to go and vote in?
Sure. That means that the issues during this election are such that the citizens are very much interested. And the power play is also very important, because you said, from what you read, incumbency, federal might, and other things. So the people want to go and also test the commitment of the new INEC chairman, because I have listened to his speeches. The man, I don't want to say seems, the man has good intentions, but this is where the good intentions are going to be tested. The chairman said that all elections or voting must begin at all centers by 8:30. He said so. And that materials should leave INEC not later than 6 a.m. And that anything outside this means that they have issues. And so that is on his part. And the other parties vote by. I don't know what is going to happen there, but I know there's always that urge on the part of politicians to buy votes. And again, there's also that tendency on the part of electorate to receive something. We talked about nothing for nothing, and something for something. But generally talking, it's going to be a crucial test. Soludo is the incumbent looking for a second term, and the APC is coming up very, very strong. And we should not forget that is a stronghold of ABGA, the stronghold of ABGA. And it is a question of whether the people have shifted from ABGA to APC. APC, that is
ADC also.
And I'm talking about APC. I'm talking about, you see, some of these parties are just to make up the number. The parties that are in contention in Anambra are ABGA and APC. Maybe a little of PDP, but APC, because APC is riding on federal might, but sometimes it doesn't work.
But
If votes count, then the vote can go anywhere.
Let's look at the interest on the play here.
Okay.
We have the incumbent who is of ABGA, and then the federal might coming into play from the All Progressives
The
Congress.
incumbent that has already declared his support for Mr. President. You need to put that on the table.
That's
too.
what I was going to. Now, with these interests on the outplay, where do you think the people come into play here? Is there an interest for the people at the center, or this is just power tussle?
The problem is that when the incumbent and federal might clash, the people are not even considered. That's the truth. The people are not being considered. But there's something I'm suspecting. Soludo had declared support for Mr. President. Yet, APC is showing so much power in Anambra. Sometimes there's so much water running underground. It may be for all this show business. You never know some instructions that have gone behind the scene. At the end, the battle may not be as tough as we are thinking. I don't want to bring one experience here. It is public forum. I remember, but let me say a little. I won't mention names. During the 2023 elections in Akwa Ibom, I was in the field. We heard so many. This one is going to do this. This one has entered into agreement with this party. I was a returning officer at Ikorekwe for the governorship election. And so when results trickled in, I went round the collation officers, the ward collation officers, and just had a peep. And what I saw contradicted what I heard, that this party had gone into alliance with this. This party had gone into alliance with this. At the end, the result did not show. And we began to think, what happened? They told us stories that should not come on the air. I wouldn't say more than that.
My concern, Anambra is estimated to be a population of over 7 million. INEC says eligible voters 2.8 million. Is voter apathy not going to be an issue in this election?
It is. Voter apathy is an issue in Nigeria, all through. There is no state in Nigeria that can really say that there's no voter apathy. Why? One, somehow people are disillusioned disillusioned with the performance of political leaders when they get into office. Number two, a lot of times their votes do not count. And so when they put that together, their votes do not count. They are disillusioned with the leadership provided by those who are in government. And number three, the security risk. The security risk. You may have a good heart to go and vote, but because of clashes between two factions, you become caught in the business. So these three factors push people not to go for elections.
So you agree that voter apathy is going to be a big problem. Now, let us talk about deployment. We understand that between 55 to 60,000 police personnel have been deployed to Anambra for this election, with a combined contribution of other security establishments. Are you not afraid that Anambra could appear over-militarized for this election, and that in itself can create fear, which will bring about voter apathy?
You are right. When you peep from your house, looking at the polling center, and you see more of military men than ordinary human beings, you may decide to stay back in your house. But my prayer or my hope is that the security agencies, the security men, just have one instruction and no other instruction: to safeguard the vote
And voters.
and voters, and not to show sentiment and lack of neutrality. Sometimes security men are under instruction regarding that. So I just hope that their express directive is to protect the voters and protect the votes, and nothing more pretentious.
Prof, before now, in the build-up to the elections, one of the problems we've been hearing coming from Anambra is the issue of voter inducement. And it's been a problem. Anambra boasts a state with one of the highest number of billionaires, self-made people. So there's going to be plenty of money to go around. Do you think, even with this number of security deployment, that voter inducement, vote buying, can be nipped in the bud?
Yes, it can, but the truth is that for astute politicians, inducement is not done on the day of election. For astute politicians, they go from house to house on the eve of the election and finish with their business and then wait for those people to act. Because these days that there's so much awareness, there's a possibility that if you engage in voter inducement, you'll be caught and you may be tried and jailed. So the politicians, they have a way of coming up with options. Like in previous elections, they will go from house to house on the eve of the election, and they will do the tidying up. They will do the tidying up, and in the morning, they just go to the police station to see what is happening. But in spite of that, I know that there are people who are diehard, and they want to do voter inducement there, and I wish them a good time in the police cell.
Well, there's aerial surveillance today, and it's shocking because in the history of Nigeria, we barely get to hear of aerial surveillance from the Nigeria Police Force. And
Jennifer, leave the surveillance. Surveillance is just to show that the police are working, and at the end, there is a subhead for surveillance.
Well, you don't suppose, even with what Jennifer has mentioned, that there's a lot at stake for INEC chairman, and this being a litmus test for him, every single card will be on the table to show that he's ready to work.
No, I agree. The man is ready to work, but when you talk of air surveillance, what are they going to see from the air?
A lot.
Let them go and
they will see a lot.
Let them go to the northeast and northwest and carry out the surveillance.
They will see people who have intentions. They will see where boots are not on the ground, and they can alert security officials, especially with the issue of insecurity going on in Anambra. So it comes in handy. It comes in handy, Prof.
The best surveillance is the one that is done on ground, where the security men see those who are trying to induce. If you don't see it one-on-one when you are on ground, is it when you are on the air that is far that you will not be able to determine what is happening between two people?
I think maybe the best surveillance will be whistleblowers, who will probably blow the whistle if anyone tries to buy vote.
Or if they try to buy them.
Well, we don't know about that.
But let me just add, for all the things that are being done, which I appreciate, we need an electoral act that is a little bit foolproof. We need electronic voting. We need electronic voting such that we can stay even at our home with our phones and vote, so that we don't even, very few people will go to the polling unit. And it must be such that nobody will come and introduce a virus into the process, so that if I vote for candidate A, the vote will go for candidate A until we do that.
Prof, in the most sophisticated and developed tech, democracy, we heard of a Russia meddling. We heard of meddlings, and Nigeria, where we're embracing technology. And so even the electronic voting, there can be some meddling.
Much of the meddling was before the election, and not the election itself.
Even if we take our minds back to all that happened, I don't want to mention the country, but you know where I'm going. But a country was mentioned to have meddled. Yes. Even with the most sophisticated technology.
They meddle now with using technology before the election. and not necessarily during the election to influence the vote or to twist the vote from one candidate to another. The other one was to persuade some people to vote for some people.
But Prof, if we're looking at electronic voting, we're also considering network in Nigeria.
No, that's part of it now. We have to set everything correct now. This one that most of our things are epileptic. Most of what we have are epileptic. You are talking of network. I will pay for the call, but I have drop calls. They'll still charge me. But we need to put everything to. In fact, this thing is a holistic business. You talk of network, you talk of the technology, security for the technology, and every other thing. If we are serious, we can do it. But the problem is that these very politicians, when they make the law, they will leave one loophole. They will leave one loophole where they can exploit. And when you go to court, and the court will look at the loophole and rule in their favor.
Prof, that's why you're the expert of communication here. I had suspected that you would drop something sinister, but let's leave it there. Let's leave it there. Jennifer,
okay.
Take us to the next papers.
Before we head to, let's look at some oil and gas issues here. This is from Dangote Refinery on Saturday Punch. Dangote Refinery slashes petrol price by 49 naira per liter. And it's not just there. We also have that captured on Saturday Vanguard.
For clarity, Jennifer, because somebody who's watching will probably think we are now going to buy 49
naira.
So
sorry,
what he reduced is 49 naira. Because somebody may be watching and think Dangote has now made it 49 naira. And then, please,
that's
so
why
you don't cause a frenzy.
Saturday Vanguard.
Please.
Yes. Saturday
Vanguard
does an explicit explanation with that. It says here Dangote Petroleum Refinery reduces gantry petrol price to 828 naira per liter.
So it was 49 naira that was removed.
I was about to ask where to go.
Where?
So what do you make of Dangote's pricing when we have the fluctuation? Regularly, we have an increment of 20 naira, an increment of 30 naira, an increment of 49 naira, and then we're talking of reduction weeks later. There are people who buy large quantities too. We're talking of marketers, and this fluctuation may not be favorable to marketers. What do you make of all of this reduction?
Yeah, actually, there should be some kind of stability. When we have increases and decreases or reductions very regularly, it makes the market unstable, and those who do that business may come out worse off, because today you may sell at 820 naira, and the people have bought at 820 naira, and tomorrow you say it's 720. Very likely they want to sell at the last price, 820, before until they have exhausted that, before they go down to the new price. But all the same, as a consumer of petrol, I like it when the price comes down, even though it has not reflected yet at the filling stations rather. Last night I was very desperate to buy fuel for the generator.
940.
I saw 940.
940.
At one place,
Aka
Road, I saw 950. I said I was not going to buy. So I went down, at least I saw 930 and bought. So the problem is that when these prices are reduced, these people don't want to reduce. But they increase the price, not when the prices are increased, when they even hear of a rumor that there will be an increase in price. That's when it just goes up. But when it becomes reality that the prices have come down, they refuse to do that. But just to finally answer the question that you asked, when there is a fluctuation, there's instability in the business, and it may not augur well for those who are doing the business. That's the more reason why it should not be Dangote only.
You mentioned it, you said that's the reason why it shouldn't be. Recently, the NNPC also reduced price. I think it was 2 weeks ago. the announced price reduction as well. But I was going to ask, these 40 naira, 20 naira, 10 naira.
No, wait, reduction of price.
Yes.
From which of the refinery products?
Well,
no, NNPC.
You would ask. But
No,
2 weeks ago.
I'm asking you.
Well, 2 weeks ago, an announcement was made by the NNPC announcing reduction of price as well.
Is it the one they imported or the one from their refineries?
They are also a player in the industry.
I know, but
they're also a player.
Please help me.
Well, they're a player.
Okay.
Because there are certain questions you would ask, I won't give you the answer, obviously. But how significant, are these reductions to the price of commodities every day? Should Alhaji Dangote and even the NNPC reduce a chunk that can reflect on, the price of commodities, or this 10 naira, 20 naira, 50 naira reduction? Does it really tell?
Honestly, I like that question, and it's a reality check, trying to see if the reduction has affected the prices of commodities. The answer is no. It has not. Because one, the reductions could not be taken to be chunk to have immediate impact. Just a little, maybe 20 naira, 30 naira, is not going to affect. And so long as the exchange rate
it's stable now.
Between naira and dollar.
It's been more stable now than it's been.
You see,
it hasn't gone beyond 1.5 in the black market.
We had talked about stability. It depends on where it is stable. So long as it's still at maybe 1.5, 1,500 naira,
not more
per
than
dollar.
Yeah. In the black market, though, it sells for lower than that, between 1,008 something, 1,090 max in the normal market, but black market is selling at 1.5.
Yes, but the point is that so long as the exchange rate is there, even if it has stabilized at a very high level, the price of crude oil or the price of petrol and crude oil generally will continue to be high, because petrol business is denominated in dollars. Even if Dangote says he's selling in naira, he has done his calculation and done his conversion. Except the exchange rate comes down, not stable. I don't want the word stable, because you can stabilize at an awful level. If it doesn't come down, we'll continue to buy fuel between 800 and 950 or 1,000.
We can only hope.
Okay, let's go to First Daily. First Daily says here, PDP crisis deepens as Ohuabunwa. I was looking at, I really expected that. Emerges factional BOT chairman.
Jennifer.
The writer says, party, yes.
I would recommend, away from the serious business, that you marry an Igbo. Ohuabunwa.
Ohuabunwa. Okay.
That you marry an Igbo man. Because don't spoil our name.
That's okay. Well, I won't do that. We have party Tom between reconciliation and rebellion ahead of national convention. Damagum governors move to salvage unity before convention. Legal team warns factions against contempt of court. And it's not just on First Daily. We have that captured on The Nation. The Nation also talks about the PDP crisis. The Nation says here, okay.
Oh, The Nation, yeah. Nigeria's, okay, that's the security issue on The Nation. But of course, whilst we're looking at this issue of PDP and we come to the next paper, I'd like to just go straight to you at this juncture, Prof. We need to maximize time. That's why we're trying to juggle between going through the papers and going straight. But the PDP crisis continues. Now, Wike faction, Anyawu's faction, of course, they are allies. They have rejected the court ruling in Ibadan that gave clearance for the convention to proceed. In fact, they've said they are going to challenge it. Now, recall that a court in Ibadan, after a court has suspended the convention, a court in Ibadan, your state, gave them a clear to go ahead with the convention. And what followed the week after was a suspension and counter-suspension. A faction of Anyanwu went ahead and suspended Damagum and his cabinet. And Damagum and his cabinet also went ahead to suspend this other side. Now, is there an end in sight, Doc? I'd like to ask you at this point, is there an end in sight for this PDP for now? Forgive me, I have to put that language there.
Before I answer, is there an end in sight? Let me say that, again, politicians have taken our judiciary into a deep mess.
Is it the politicians?
Even the judiciary has taken
the judiciary should be roped into this, because the judiciary is always on its own. People take cases to the judiciary. But it doesn't meddle.
When courts are of coordinate jurisdiction, you have the same powers. This one sitting in Abuja has the same power as the one sitting in Ibadan. The one in Abuja has given an order, and the one in Ibadan, the same power, gives another counter order. That's the mess that I'm talking about. The judiciary has to check itself, because they are also contributing. But talking about the PDP crisis, is there an end in sight? I want to say that PDP, for now, is like a broken pot.
Even broken pots can be fixed.
A broken pot.
If it's a clay pot, you can
mold
it. If it's a metallic pot, you get another metallic pot.
I agree. The broken pot can be fixed. And to fix a broken pot, it takes a long process. But I tell you that this broken pot, PDP, may not be fixed. I'm using the word may, until after 2027 election.
There's a certainty to that statement of yours, as though you have a crystal ball that you've seen the future. I do not know. Why do you say may not? Because as we speak right now, reconciliatory moves are on the table. The factional chairman that was recently a faction brought in a chairman, and one thing he said he wanted to do was to reconcile the party. Although the other faction said, no, you cannot reconcile the party. You cannot reconcile the party. But then, don't you think at some point the PDP may get it right and, just solve its problems and perhaps come under the same umbrella that appears tattered or shattered at the moment?
No crisis, no problem is insurmountable. They will surmount. But also look at the dynamics. One of the key players, or the main player that has made it difficult for PDP to reconcile, is the FCT minister.
Is he?
Yes. And the FCT minister is rooting for Tinubu in 2027. And we don't need crystal ball to tell us that he doesn't want the PDP to be fixed in such a way that they could bring out a very prominent presidential candidate for 2027. So by the time the 2027 election is over, probably Tinubu
There's something I would like to read from The Guardian.
Okay.
The Guardian says PDP sacks Wabara-led BOT over alleged loss of moral balance. We're looking at two factions here. Who has the moral balance?
In fact, I don't know who has, because it's the weakest faction that has sacked Wabara's faction. And it goes back to what I'm saying, that for all these crises, it's not as if they don't know what to do. But when elections, maybe just before election, or when the election is over, 2027, that house, that broken pot will be mended, preparatory for 2031.
But it will not be between now and 2027.
May not be.
So
May
then
not be.
you are...
We are already in 2026.
Yeah.
We are already...
Today's 8, by the way.
And in 2026, it's mainly campaign. And so when you have one faction, you have another faction. Which faction will produce the convention or will organize the convention? Which faction will produce the presidential candidate that will be acceptable?
I wish I had the answer to that question.
But it means you are of the school of thought that if the PDP resolves the crisis, it might produce a strong contender for...
Of course. But how are they going to resolve? Okay. In the PDP, the one that has the most power at the moment, we have to be very candid, is the FCT minister.
All right.
Even the governors, PDP governors, how many are there? How many are remaining?
They are reducing by
In fact, every...
Abu Kefas is close. Is on his way out. We're hearing whispers of Caleb Muftwang. at the moment. We do not know
That's
where Siminalayi Fubara is.
That's why I said it's a broken.
We cannot
it's
say.
a broken pot. It's broken. The strength of PDP has been broken because the strength of the party is not just in the unity, but in the number of governors that you have. But here, the governors are shrinking every other day. And last week, I was in Yenogua. I'm happy I left before the man moved. Because so that
Maybe
if anything happens, I wouldn't be there.
It was a peaceful movement. Though.
Yeah. So PDP is a broken pot. I still maintain that. And while I know that the pot will be mended, particularly a clay pot, it will be mended, but it will take time.
All right.
Wish them well.
Thank you very much, Professor Uwem Akpan, for coming to review the papers with us this morning. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof.
Jennifer.
Thank you so much. Always a pleasure.
It's a pleasure too. Thank you. You guys are doing a wonderful job.
We'll take a break. When we return, we'll bring in Mrs. Jochebed Mashoud as she brings us up to speed with what's trending. Stay tuned.